first graders, welcome back to school. I'm Mrs. Garcia, your librarian, and I am going to read a book to you today. I heard you guys are going to start journaling in your classes, and I love journaling. That's where you get to write all kinds of neat little thoughts that are your very own, and you can maybe even make up stories. So we are going to read a book today, a really awesome story called The Best Story. It's by Eileen Spinelli, and it is about a little tiny girl. See, there's the cover page, The Best Story. It's about a little girl who is going to write a story for a contest that her library is having. And in this contest, if they win first prize, when they write the story, if it's picked as the best story, they get to win it says first prize was a ride on the Super Duper Looper roller coaster. Wouldn't that be fun? So let's find out if this sweet little girl uses her imagination to write the most amazing story, so maybe she might win that first grand prize to ride on that roller coaster. The Red Brick Library was having a contest. Write the best story and win the prize. First prize was a ride on the Super Duper Looper roller coaster with my favorite author, Anne Miles, who wrote The Runaway Roller Coaster. Wow! First prizes don't get any better than that. I ran home and went to my room. I shut the door and I sharpened 5 pencils. Opened my notebook to a brand new page and thought and thought and thought. And all I could think was this writing stuff was hard and lonely. Maybe I needed a little help. I told my brother, Tim, about the contest. The best stories, said my brother Tim, have lots of action. So the best stories, said her little brother, have lots of action and exciting things going on inside them. So I wrote a lot of action inside my story. I wrote about a bus hurtling down the highway with no one at the wheel. I added a tornado and a pirate and a great white shark. Oh my goodness, that's causing a lot of action in that story. But the story didn't seem quite right. There she is sitting writing her story. So I asked my dad, and he said the best stories have plenty of humor. And humor is something that makes you laugh. So if your story is full of humor, that means it's got lots of stuff in there that will make everybody laugh when they read it. So I changed the great white shark to a monkey, and I put the monkey at the wheel of the bus. And I turned the tornado into turnips, and I dressed the pirate in polka dot pajamas. So she made all these changes. That's a turnip. It's a vegetable. So she did all these things to make the story funny now. Dad laughed so hard that he popped a shirt button. Even so, this story didn't feel quite right either. Look at the kitty. So Dad laughed so hard that he popped a shirt button off his shirt, but she said it just still didn't feel quite right. Along came Aunt Jane. What are you doing? She asked. I'm writing a story, the best story, for a contest at the library. I can win a roller coaster ride with my favorite author, I said. Oh, well then, said Aunt Jane, here's all you need to know. The best stories are the ones that make people cry. I don't know about that. So that means she's going to have to change some of her things to be kind of sad. So I gave the bus a flat tire, and I sent the monkey to the funeral of his pet goldfish, and I turned the turnips into onions, and I made the pirate chop every one. There were lots of tears. But, you know, that story still didn't feel quite right. And there's the pirate chopping up all those onions. My teenage cousin Annika said, "I have news for you." She said, "If it's not romantic, it's a loser." So, her teenage cousin Annika told her that stories need to be romantic, which means have lots of love in there. So the pirate introduced the monkey to his sister Grace, and they fell in love. So there's the monkey meeting Grace, and they're gonna fall in love. And I turned the onions into wedding invitations, and everyone lived happily ever after. Finally, my story was ready, so I read it to my whole family. "Not enough action," said my brother Tim. "Maybe the monkey can fall into the wedding cake," said Dad. "Now that would be really funny." "It's hard to cry at a wedding when the groom is a monkey," said Aunt Jane. Annika said it would be perfect if I added a kiss. In all this time, my mother hadn't said a word, so I asked her, "What do you think is the best story?" So see Mama sitting there? This is Mom. And she said, "What do you think is the best story, Mom?" She gave me a hug and said, "I think that the best story is the one that comes from the heart, your own heart." So Mom said the very best story comes from your own heart, nowhere else. So let's see what happens. That night, after supper, I looked into my own heart, and I rewrote my story. No more monkey, no more pirate, no more wedding invitations, and no more happily ever after. So she got rid of everything that didn't come from her heart. My new best story is about my family and my two best friends, Tara and Josh, which are these two. It's about my cat, Ollie, who likes to sleep on his back, and snow days and toast with strawberry jam, and it's about fireworks and rainbows and bike rides. So she's writing about all the things that come from her heart and that she loves. I think that's a great idea. My biggest problem was keeping the story short. Once I started pulling things out of my heart, it was really hard to stop. When my story was finished, I turned it in to the judges. So she's all done and she's bringing it to the library to turn it in for the contest. Let's find out what happens. Maybe I'll win that roller coaster ride with Ann Miles, and maybe I won't. Either way, I'll be happy because I'll be a winner. Because the story I wrote is my own, not somebody else's, and that makes it the best. So the best story that you can write, boys and girls, is from your own heart. So you can sometimes listen to other people's ideas and kind of take them and make them your own, but the best story that you will ever write comes from your very own imagination and your very own heart. So when it's time to write and do your journals, make sure that you listen to what your brain says, what your imagination says, and what your heart says. So have fun journaling. Maybe I'll get to come in and see some of them. So you guys have a great week, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.